49ers, they have not lost in their first playoff game since 2001 at Green Bay.
Right.
They have not gone one and done. Now, obviously, they haven't made the playoffs every single year, but in the years they have made the playoffs, they have not lost their opening playoff game since 2001, and they get it done again every time.
Well, Shanahan's either not playoffs or NFC Championship or Super Bowl.
Right.
Period, right?
Right.
You know?
So that gets tested this weekend when the 49ers will return to Seattle by virtue of the victory yesterday over the Philadelphia Eagles. It was, to say the least, one of the craziest weekends of playoff football action we've ever seen.
It was.
Luck of the draw, we got the worst game of all.
Yeah, it was still good, though.
Sunday
It was
night.
entertaining. Just a little different style.
Right, but not
Harbaugh and
nearly
Vrabel-ish.
the unbelievable excitement.
Right, fourth
lead
quarter.
changes.
Whoever was
Incredible.
losing at the 2-minute warning of the first four games of the weekend won the football game. That's incredible. Whoever was losing, right? And maybe the 49ers, the 49ers also kept that alive as well. So, right? Am I right there?
No, they held on.
They held on. So they were the first team to hold on, excuse me.
All
but
games
before that,
decided by 4 points or fewer. These are the first four. All had a game-winning touchdown in the final 3 minutes. 12 lean changes in the fourth quarter, a record for a single playoffs, and it was the first 4 games of this year's wild card. Maybe we should go back to calling it super wild card. Maybe we should call it super duper wild card after what we saw in the first 4 games. And we're going to start with the most significant because ding dong, the witch is dead.
Well, first
the
off,
Eagles are out.
But I do want to comment off that just about the big thing because we've been talking about this all year. It's a crazy year. It didn't seem like there was 1 or 2 or 3 teams that stood about above the rest, right, in football. I mean, we've had a lot of years where we've gone, it's going to be one of these 2 or 3 teams. It's so equal. We saw this throughout the year. I mean, it's one of those years where you and I have discussed a whole bunch here coming down December, early January to go, it's hard to really pick who you think is going to go to the Super Bowl. You can see a lot of different matchups, including how the matchups play out in the playoffs a little bit. So that's what's crazy. And then, of course, that's just continued through the playoffs here and what we saw on Saturday. Both games, they lived up to the hype. But again, is Carolina as good as the Rams in totality? No, not really. But we tried to tell people last week they match up well with them, right? So they gave them a tough time, have some coaching knowledge of them. There's some crossover there, all of that.
And my point was the Panthers have absolutely no pressure on them whatsoever.
Exactly.
They're 8-9.
Right.
Nobody expected
House
them to
money.
be there.
Right.
Just go out and do your thing.
Exactly right. And they played that way. But it's been a crazy year. I think it's been one of the craziest years I can ever remember in the NFL. And it just has felt like, limited teams in the upper class in the NFL and a whole bunch of people kind of knocking at the door of the upper class. Like, we think we're one of them, but we're just missing this, or we're hurt here, or we're just not playing our best right now. And we're still sitting here kind of like scratching our heads going, I don't know. It's hard to tell who's going to make a run for the Super Bowl and who's really the best team as we sit here going into, one more wild card game in the divisional weekend next weekend.
But then ultimately what the game comes down to is who is going to step up and make the big play in the big spot.
Right.
Matthew Stafford does it for the Rams. Caleb Williams does it for the Bears.
Right.
Josh Allen does it for the Bills.
Players. That's why we talk about you got to have some players here if you want to win these type of games.
Brock Purdy does it for the 49ers, and Jalen Hurts doesn't do it for the Eagles. And let's start with that game. Look, I don't know. The Bears-Packers game, I think, was the number one injected into my veins game of the weekend, but it wasn't on Sunday. So I think the most significant game out of Sunday, again, because ding dong, the witch is dead, the Eagles are out, the 49ers advance, the 2 last teams to come to the Super Bowl.
Right, 5 out of the last 8 Super Bowls in the NFC are these
one of them
teams.
is out, and one keeps going, and the 49ers go to Philadelphia, and they punch their ticket to Seattle. That, to me, was – and it's frustrating because, we had a show we're getting ready for, and we can't really – watch the game. We're on the air during the best moments of the game, but that's just how the timeline works out. The 49ers, I'm impressed with Brock Purdy. He made that play at the end where he just makes the subtle little step
slide
up.
in the pocket, stays in the throwing position.
Throws the ball. Christian McCaffrey, he made some great catches all day long. They keep getting it done. Now, it's McCaffrey is the one constant they've had all year through this storm of injuries. Brock Purdy missed a ton of time. George Kittle missed 6 games, and now he's done for the year with the torn Achilles tendon that you could see it happen. It was Kirk Cousins-ish. You can see the band at the back of the leg snap, and that's it for George Kittle. They've had so many other injuries. And hey, Eric Kendricks, the guy who sufficiently freaked out Kyle Shanahan 6 years ago to get him to turn Jimmy Garoppolo into Bob Greasy for the remainder of the postseason until they got to the Super Bowl, because he should have had 3 interceptions that day. We were in Santa Clara, if you remember. He makes the big play at the end to tip the ball away, steps in for Fred Warner and Tatum Bethune. So they're doing everything they can to just slap a team together around McCaffrey and Purdy now that Purdy is back. I mean, Trent Williams gutted it out and played with injury, and they just keep going. And you wonder, it's like that race car that's getting to the end of the race and all the pieces are starting to fall off. Can it keep rolling?
Keep it going,
Can it
right?
keep
Can
rolling?
they keep the tire on there? This is unreal. To me, it's the biggest surprise of the weekend. Not that I expected the Eagles just to totally blow them away, but like really, I think we're like a little bit almost trivializing
Ding,
this
ding.
whole thing a little bit just because of the brand name of the 49ers, and we see Shanahan and we just go, oh, Shanahan, Salah, that usually works. It's the 49ers, that helmet, that logo. They should be pretty good. But like, if you said the names of the guys on the football team right now, you'd go, what? Yeah, they just beat the Eagles. They beat the Eagles. The Eagles, who have basically 4 all-pros on the offensive line type of caliber players, right? A good tight end. 2, right, Pro Bowl, all-pro caliber-ish type of receivers. The running back in Saquon. I mean, a defensive line that's as good as in football. There's going to be 2 first-team all-pros in the secondary with Cooper DeJean. They have no business really playing with the Philadelphia Eagles. No business. That's what's incredible. When you say, hey, who you go on the street and go to people, who are the wide receivers of the 49ers? People stammer. They don't even, yeah, that's right. DeMarcus Robinson on team, 5 the last 2 years?
Alarm went off at our house. Right there.
Okay.
They hung up.
Damn, I thought you were joking.
I don't need to have the police dispatched to my house. The alarm accidentally went off at my house, and they call me first, even if I'm 500 miles away.
Wow.
So I'm sorry I had to do that. I just don't want I don't want the police at my house.
Okay.
Especially in these days.
Right. All right.
But let's not go down that rabbit hole.
Yes.
So I'm sorry I interrupted you.
No, all good. But yeah, it's you're saying it. Most people can't name the defensive lineman for the 49ers. Most people, Eric Kendricks was on the practice squad. We're starting 2 rookie corners. Again, against the Eagles, that is like we've all discussed, everybody in sports media, and we know there's problems there, and it goes back to the players, and we're going to talk about the coaching and all of that too. But for them, just at a base level, to go into Philadelphia with this football team, lost Bethune, their middle linebacker, was kind of like playing the best football in their defense. He gets hurt last week. He's not capable of playing. Then to go in there and kind of get pushed around and maybe bullied a little bit in the first half of the football game, and then be the bullier in the second half of the football game and kind of control it from there. That's what's amazing to me and what the 49ers did. And, of course, so much of it goes on Shanahan, Salah, and Brock Purdy, like you said. Like, can we show that touchdown that we just showed one more time? Let's just show quickly, like, the genius of Kyle Shanahan, because that play is genius. Really, people run that play usually, and you'll see Christian McCaffrey is going to be on the right side as this gets pulled up and you see the play, and he's going to come out the backside to the left, and usually it's kind of a natural pick play. That's why people run it. So McCaffrey, again, is going to be over there. He's going to come across the field, and usually you just go, oh, the linebacker got caught up in the trash, we're going to throw it in the flat to him. But watch this. Shanahan goes, I run this play a lot. All right, so he's sitting here, and he's got McCaffrey over here to the right, and so they're going to make it look like, hey, it's one of those pick things again. He's going to go through the line of scrimmage, but then stop and come back. Like, that route is not done in the NFL. That's new. Shanahan invented that. That's going to be a new thing in the NFL. And that just speaks again to Shanahan. The trick play touchdown. And that moment right there, down 16-10, knowing, oh, wow, it's going to be hard to get into the end zone right now. And once we get in the red zone, let's go for it and take a shot here. To dial up this play right here, first play of the second quarter on a 1st and 10, and of course execute it and all that, and then carry that momentum into a victory down the final stretch. But just so many moments like that here, what we've talked about with Shanahan, the coaching and everything else. And then, like you said, it's so focused through Christian McCaffrey, and he continues to deliver. And guys like that, Juwan Jennings, where people go, wait, I know him, but wait, who is he? What? Well, oh, yeah, I remember him from the Vegas Super Bowl a few years ago. These are not household names, and they're standing up there to guys and teams that are household names that you just don't expect them to beat, and that's what amazing.
It's a testament to what Kyle Shanahan's able to do with the pieces that he has available. It's a testament to the players who are there, stepping up, focusing, being properly practiced and prepared, and able to go out and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done. I thought it was significant how they went right down the field with Demarcus Robinson, a guy that they picked up in the offseason, a guy that had a suspension to start the year from a DUI incident, a personal conduct policy punishment. He made a couple of big plays with Quinyon Mitchell, first-team All-Pro, guarding him. And I think there was an urgency by Kyle Shanahan. We heard him talk about his respect for Vic Fangio during the week and efforts to hire Fangio multiple times. 3 points scored in Week 18. There was a determination there to come out and get down the field and score on that opening drive. They more than doubled their points from the entirety of the game against the Seahawks on the opening drive. And that just, even though the Eagles answered, missed the extra point, made it 7-6, there was just, I think, a determination. We just need to we need to get that taste out of our mouth from what happened against the Seahawks, where they were held to the fewest points scored under Kyle Shanahan since his first game with the team in September of 2017. And I think that helped. It was still close. It was still sluggish. Yeah. Neither team was putting up. We got spoiled by all the points we saw in the Rams-Panthers game and in the Bears-Packers game. But they did enough. They hung around. And the thing with the Eagles, you just hang around.
You just hang around. That's it.
For the offense to go into a coma.
Exactly right.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.